There's power in a 6 month lock in. 6 months of focus and commitment can change your entire life. And the reason why that can happen is because if you just take the initiative to focus on what you're trying to do, the glow up that you want, the life that you want, it can change your whole life. And you don't need more time, you need more focus, you need more discipline. A lot of times I find out, and this is include myself, that it's the lack of focus, the lack of readiness hurts you. So if you commit 6 months, everything can change because sometimes motivation isn't enough, right? A lot of times you need long-term discipline and not short-term motivation because short motivation runs out. But just imagine for 6 months, you stay disciplined. You do the hard stuff even when it's uncomfortable, even when you don't feel like it. You know what I mean? Like you may tell yourself, I'm gonna work out 3 days a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And Monday, you excited, you got the motivation to go. Wednesday, you excited, you got the motivation to go. But then that Friday comes around and it's the weekend. You know what I mean? You had a long, rough week. A lot of things happened and transpired during that time. Coworkers got on your nerves. You know, life just happened. Family things came up. And you say, oh, well, I went 2 days already. I'm good. I'm not going to go. See, the motivation ran out. But then that discipline got to kick in. That discipline, you got to tell yourself, nah, I made a commitment. This week was rough. You hear me? I don't feel so good today, but I'm going anyway. That's when the long-term discipline kicks in because that's what's going to ultimately carry you for the next 6 months. We're in the month of July. It's been a rough year on a grand scheme of things when we look at a lot of stuff, you know, as far as what's going on in this country and what's going on in the world. So that motivation to want to do better and do better for a lot of people that I've seen online, they're like, man, I just don't want to do nothing because of the state of the world, the state of the country. It's like you still have to lock yourself in for you, for your family. You hear me? So you're going to need that discipline to keep you going. You hear me? The next thing that I want to talk about is you have to cut out the noise in your life. You have to cut out the distractions and you have to find your rhythm. You have to find your flow. So that might look like eliminating distractions like gossiping, endless scrolling on social media, toxic energy. You hear me? Like a lot of times we surround ourselves with bad people, people who drain our energy, people who all they want to do is talk about mess and drama and stuff like that. You gotta distance yourself from that. And that's not to say that you necessarily better than anybody, but if that doesn't align with the person that you want to become long term, then you gotta get away from it. You hear me? Now don't get me wrong. Everybody love a little gossip here and there. Everybody love a little tea here and there. But like if the foundation of your relationship with other people is gossip and drama, then you're gonna have to eliminate that. You hear me? Like if you spend if your goal is to become a content creator, you want to do content long term, you want to be able to make some type of money and profit from social media, but out of a full day, 6 hours is spent scrolling, and then no hours is designated for you to like post content, engage with other people. For you to, are you not creating your own content within a 6 to 8 hour period? You don't have a couple videos knocked down, then you are the problem. That's a distraction. You have to stop scrolling. Maybe instead of scrolling for 4 to 6 hours a day, maybe you take an hour out the day, and then the rest you get busy doing what you need to do for you. And if it maybe your goal isn't content creation or anything like that, maybe it's something else, but put your energy towards that instead of that instant gratification of like, oh, I'm just gonna scroll and scroll and scroll, because I'm guilty of it too. You hear me? Like get on social media literally say I'm gonna get off. I'm only gonna scroll for 15 minutes. 15 minutes turn into 30. 30 turn into an hour turn into two. You hear me? And like you find yourself and you look up and you're like, oh man, I wasted the day. Like you have to audit your habits. You hear me? Like that's that's a bad habit to have to be scrolling for hours on end, like and not being productive in your day-to-day life. That and you know what I'm saying, like not washing your clothes or cooking dinner, whatever it may be, because you have to figure out what adds fuel to the journey that you're on and the person that you want to become, and what drains your fire. You know what I mean? So like if it's something that's draining you, you have to reevaluate that and figure out how to turn that into purpose, because you have to protect your peace, protect your mindset, and protect your energy like it's your purpose, because it is. You hear me? Don't get so caught up in just the gratification of everything. Like, nah, some things are not going to be so good and so cute and always feel good, because at the end of the day, like distractions are just that. They'll hold you up and hold you back, and before you realize it, it's become a big problem. You already far gone. You hear me? The next thing is you have to build a mindset that match your mission. So everything changes up here. You hear me? It's a nice hat. Everything changes up here. Like, you know, you're not gonna glow up. Nothing's gonna change in your life if you don't have the right mindset. If your mindset is still stuck on the old you, the old way of thinking, old habits, people that no longer serve you, you're not gonna glow up. It starts in the mind. You have to make up your mind that this is what I want, this is how I'm gonna do it, and this glow up that I'm chasing is gonna require a mental shift for me. And until you figure that out, until you acknowledge that, you're gonna be stuck in the same cycle over and over. You hear me? Like, you gotta understand that confidence isn't something that's found. It's something that you build. It's something that you create. Can't nobody give you confidence. You have to build that over time with repetition and good habits and good character, and the mindset of telling yourself that you are this thing, that you know what I'm saying, like I am who I say I am. I am who I want to become. Like that has to change up here. The mind is a powerful thing, and until you get control of it, and that's why you keep failing. That's why every time you try to start something, within the first 3 days, you tap out and give up, and you go back to your old ways, because you haven't really made up your mind. You haven't really made that shift yet. You know what I mean? Like, you have to embrace the discomfort that comes with this. It ain't gonna be easy. It's not something that's gonna happen overnight. You know what I mean? Like, discomfort is a part of the process. Being in a bad position is a part of the process. Because if it was easy, everybody would do it. But the people that have done it will all tell you that growth is something that is hard but worth it. Until you adopt that mindset, you're gonna find yourself in the same position over and over, repeating the same processes over and over. And you're gonna look up, and then these 6 months that remain in this year gonna come, and you're gonna be like, dang, had I started 6 months ago, I'll be so far ahead. You hear me? So change your mind today. That way, when you look back at the end of this year, you can say, man, I'm happy I did that. I'm happy I started. I'm happy I changed my mind. I'm happy I locked in to get myself to where I'm at. I'm happy I embraced the parts that weren't comfortable. When I didn't feel good, when I didn't feel like it, when I was I was uncomfortable. I still stuck to it. You know what I mean? You're gonna thank yourself later. Like, daily habits, um, good habits, by the way, daily good habits stack into transformation. You got to understand that slow progress is still progress. Small wins are still wins. You know what I mean? Um, like those little things matter. Those little, like, it's not gonna be like this sudden overhaul, and it's not gonna all happen overnight. The key to it all is staying disciplined and being consistent. Whatever it is that you're trying to do, you have to tell yourself, okay, look, if you have a bad day somewhere in between, it's like things just didn't go your way, for lack of a better word. Let's just say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, everything was great. Thursday, it was rough. So like you fell off slightly. You don't just throw all of the progress you made at the beginning of the week and say, oh, it is what it is, and you spend the next 3 days binging or just staying off the rails or staying off your pathway. No, Thursday was a bad day. Friday, you get back on it. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then you go back into your cycle. Yeah, man. You that's like that saying that you like if you have one flat tire, you don't flatten the other four because something's wrong with that one. You know what I mean? And that's the same mindset when it comes to like those daily habits. Like just because you have a bad day, don't make it a bad week. Don't let one small inconvenience, one small mess up the entire progress and all of the progress that you've made throughout that week or throughout those months. It's okay to have a bad day, but having multiple bad days back to back to back and it's falling off the rails, that's how we get caught up and we slip back into those negative mindset, those bad habits. You know what I mean? One of the things you have to do, and this is something I've practiced for years and I've gotten away from it. But in my early 20s, I used to show up like I was already the person I wanted to become. And here's an example of that. Before I got my first apartment, I knew I wanted my own place. I didn't know how I was going to do it, none of that. But what I started to do is I started to buy stuff for that place. I got pot set, knife set, got me a blender, things like that. I was already manifesting it in preparing myself, showing up as that person that had that apartment already. And I kid you not, within 2 months, I had my place. So you have to show up like you already who you becoming. Walk like you already that person. Talk like you already that person. Conduct yourself as you already that person. You know, from showing up for yourself every day to how you interact with other people, how you show up online in your content creation journey, how you show up at work. You have to already be that person while you in transit to becoming, if that makes sense. You hear me? The next thing that I want to talk to you about and tell you about is that delayed gratification. Like, again, hear me when I tell you this. Growing up isn't always about looking different, it's about feeling different. I remember a long time ago when I lost a good bit of weight and someone noticed it. And it was like, oh man, you look good. And my response to that was, I feel good. Because although that was the goal, was to get the weight off, I felt better. And now, I'm in the process of getting back to that, trying to get some weight off and getting back to the point of like feeling good, not so much just looking good. You have to fall in love when you locking in for these next 6 months. You have to fall in love with the journey, not just the destination, not just the results. That's going to come. That's going to happen. If you change your mindset and you lock in for these next 6 months, that's going to come. But fall in love with everything in between. There's beauty in the building. There's a beauty in everything that makes you. You hear me? So fall in love with that. Like, you sacrifice now, so like your future self doesn't have to really settle. You sacrifice now, so later on you can just kind of move through this life and do the things that you want to do without having to worry. You hear me? Like, it's that delayed gratification. And it's cool to celebrate throughout it. Like as you make certain milestones and reach certain goals, you celebrate yourself. You be proud of yourself. You don't have to wait until the end. You don't have to wait until like the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? Like that's when you go all out. When you reach the end of the year and you've accomplished a lot of the stuff that you set out, that's when you go hard. But like make sure you are in a sense enjoying the journey. You know what I mean? So again, lock in for these next 6 months, man. Change your life. Change your life. You're gonna thank yourself later. You know what I mean? So it's your boy Chris Wright. I appreciate you for tuning in to another episode of A Quick Little Word Podcast. Be sure to check out the description for all of the links for the website. The merch is facience.com. You can get this hat in a bunch of cool designs. So make sure you check that out. The podcast audio is linked. My book is linked as well. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe and share this with somebody who may need to hear it. And until next time, peace, love, and happiness.